Hey everybody, we're back doing another Legion tier list. Fresh back from Gen Con. I think my throat is recovered, but talking, because I was running Legion demos, I was talking, I think, about 7 hours a day, constantly, in a loud space, trying to talk through my mask. My throat died. Um, Joining me, as always, is Chris. I have released him from the dungeon. So he can help me classify all of these. Let's see if we can get these all right, because apparently there are objective truths to where these fit in the tier list.
Yes.
All right. We've got what is this, the F7D thing?
I don't know. I can't see your screen.
Oh, why didn't you tell me I wasn't sharing my screen?
It's not my job to tell you what to do.
Can you see it now?
Sure.
That's not an answer.
And you're not a question. Alright. The 1.4 FD laser cannon team.
Um, they seem fine. Whenever I see them on the table, they do good, but I never see them on the table. Right?
Well, it's because Legion's an objective game, and most of the objectives either have to have you stand somewhere in the middle of the table or go get something. And they're stationary, so they can't do either. Now, that being said, have you had a lot of experience with the Echo-based defense team yet?
Not yet. Been meaning to try them out, but I probably won't until the expansion actually comes out and I can get a second turret and some more tauntauns.
So, long story short, there's a card that's specifically for Echo-based defenders.
Uh-huh.
That is a command card. It's hold at any cost. And the way it's worded basically gives you on that turn, if you have 3 vets, 3 of their medium turrets, and then 4 FDs, you'll get 6 aims and 7 standbys.
Okay.
And they're at work range 5, so that's a lot. So unless that card gets eroded, they're probably going to be one of the best for Rebels.
But so it sounds like in Echo-based defenders these guys are pretty S tier. But is everybody playing Rebels gonna always be using Echo-based defenders?
I mean, I guess it depends on how long until this card is eroded, huh?
So if you see somebody playing Rebels and they're not doing Echo-based defenders, they're a fool. Is that what you're saying?
It depends on how long until they're errata.
Okay, well, where am I putting this? A or S?
It's up to you. This is your list. I just tell you things and you make the decisions.
Everything is F. I'm going to put it at A then. If Echo-based defenders wasn't a thing, where would this be? C?
Oh, if
B?
it wasn't a thing, it would probably be B. But it's a good unit for what it does. It's just it's not meant for an objective-based system. Like you put it somewhere to deny areas or to kill things from range. So I would say A for now, just to
All
be
right.
safe.
How about the Zippy Boys, speeder bikes?
I mean, they're pretty good right now with Blizzard Force because it turns out if you can run 4 bikes, it really makes them better.
I mean,
But they've always been
yeah,
okay for
like
their built-in impact.
3 bikes is always pretty tough to deal with sometimes, so I guess 4 bikes is.
I would say at least B, because they do their job well. The problem is you know,
They're a little
they die.
flimsy.
Yeah, a little.
My perspective on them has been skewed because I was running demos for 4 days straight, like 7 hours a day, and those were in the core box. And I was always seeing, having to explain how speeder works to everybody, and watching those things output damage and die and stuff. And they're just a blur.
I
Let's
mean,
leave them
that's
at
what they
B.
do. They output damage and then they die.
Let's leave them at.
Now,
Let's
here's the
leave them
thing,
at B.
though. If you have bombing run, suddenly they're like the greatest thing ever.
So they definitely have their place, their niche.
Yeah.
How about the Republic ATRT? Definitely something I haven't seen on any of our local tables in a
Uh,
long time.
we have a guy in our group that plays a lot of armor. He brings them. They're good. Like they search defensively, which is great for an armor.
Makes me jealous.
Yeah, right. And honestly, their built-in rocket launcher, it's 3 dice with crit 1 impact 1. That's not bad for 60 points. But overall, there's just better support choices for Republic.
C or B?
It's up to you.
All right, I'm gonna put it at C. See what happens.
Okay.
See if somebody yells at me.
I hope they do.
That makes me feel like this should be C or D, because this doesn't surge. These things die pretty quick. I used to run them all the time, and with some success, but I feel like with the prevalence of the stupid critical keyword these days, they're not quite as good.
Yeah, they're definitely not as effective because they used to have the rotary gun with their surge to crit was amazing because you just crit fish with them. But now, like you said, with critical and everything, like there's other things that can do that job better.
The Barky Boys. Woof woof.
Yeah, you're stable.
My brain's still recovering from Gen Con.
That's fair.
Might take a while to bounce back.
I love bark speeders. I think they're great. They're a speeder with red defense dice. You throw an RPS 6 on there, and suddenly you have 6 dice with impact 2. I really like them, especially since they search to hit. If you fire support with like a phase 1 with into their attack, that's a lot of dice that search to hit. I would say at least a B. Like they're good for their price point. They're 6 more with the RPS 6. There's 6 more points than a standard speeder bike for the Empire.
Okay.
Do you have any feelings on them?
Nope, no feelings. Sorry, I was messing with my audio levels. Trying to reduce some background noise.
Oh, I see. Hi, Enoch.
Oh boy. Dewbacks. I'm gonna throw them right up to A real quick, and we'll see where they land.
I mean, probably up there. Dewbacks are just hands down the best support for Empire.
And they're cute.
And they're cute. And you can new ways to motivate them to make them lizard missiles.
Listles.
Listles.
Yeah, I think they're good. They're not. They're for a specific kind of list, but they're always a solid unit.
Yeah.
Droidicas, I feel like are probably C or B, just kind of whatever.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they're just not that great, are they?
Not
I never
really.
see them on the table. When's the last time you actually saw them on the table?
Probably when I put one on a table, just because I never used them. You know, sometimes you don't use a unit for a long time, and you're like, I should get this guy out on the table, just to remember why I don't use them all the time.
Like it's weird looking back that they're 25 points less than when they first came out, and yet they are still not chosen over any of the other droid choices.
I mean, the shield is pretty good. Their design is certainly feels very Droidica. Their suppressive weapon is nice.
Yeah, but they do not put out a lot of firepower. Like they get 2 red, 4 black with 2 of them still alive, which is a very reliable pool. But without the surge to hit, it kind of feels like a dud.
All right, well, we're gonna throw them in D for Droidica.
There you go.
I got a feeling this guy just goes straight up to here.
Yeah.
That'll
Turns out if you put a range 4 ion gun in something, and then give it a commander that can help give him aim, so he can just untap it himself, it's great.
How about? Yeah, I don't think we need to discuss that. Really, it seems to be the dominant force in the meta right now.
I will say, Flamethrower is fun too.
Flamethrower is fun. It's not Flamethrower is not S tier. I
That's
like
true.
I've run triple flames with Magna Guards and stuff, and I enjoy it. It's fun, but it's not
Oh
great.
yeah, we faced each other with that.
How about the E-Web?
Yeah. Yeah. The problem is, it's like, it is, if you look at it with its, how it is, it's actually really good. Like, it's a surge to crit with 5 dice. You can get 7 with, like, the suppressive generator. Red defenses, but man, just that cumbersome really ruins it. It used to have plotting too, which made it somehow even worse. But yeah, it's just bad. I hope one day to find somebody who can actually make like really good use out of it, or they do something to the E-Web to make it better. Like give it a generator that gives it in another range or something.
Yeah,
That'd be
just give it
nice.
a. Oh yeah, it has the generator slot, doesn't it? But it.
Yeah, or just make
Okay,
the
just
E-Web
maybe.
heavy blaster gun range 4. Like
Yeah.
they're set up. I don't see why this blaster gun can't reach range 4.
Does this guy live down there with the E-Web? The Fluttercraft?
I mean, I'm very opinionated about the Fluttercraft. I don't know if we
I've
should take my opinion on it.
I've never seen it used. I've never seen anyone talk about it used. I'm not even convinced it's a real product.
Okay, so I have 2 defenses for it. The first one is the gunner, a range 3, 2 red, 2 black, like in the rear, with its pierce and impact is actually very unique because you can actually fly away from the danger and still get shots off, which is really nice for, a speeder unit like that, so it doesn't have to drive into the enemy like most other speeders. And the second thing is the bombardier is actually really cool because then you can do like a little pistol shot and just overrun things with the bombs. That being said, they are made out of the thinnest paper. Also, the model sucks to transport.
All right. Well, F or D.
I
Would you rather make a list with that thing or with an E-Web?
I would so rather make a list with an E-Web.
Then it stays in F because you're telling me that the E-Web is better.
I'm telling you, I'd like Empire better.
Yeah. Also, like it's limited by just there's better things in Republic. You're like you kind of have to
I
build
mean,
your whole
that's
list around it.
that's true. Republic has a lot of good choices.
Even though it seems like the consensus is the Republic is the weakest faction right now.
Yes, well, the problem is they have a lot of good choices, but they're expensive.
Mm.
Like they don't. That's the
I'm
problem.
pretty sure Republic did not get very far in at the tournament at Gen Con.
No, that's the issue. It's just there's a lot of other things that are doing very specific things a lot better than Republic can. I mean, take a look at their battle force, the 501st Legion. You just kind of get a soup of a bunch of different types of units and just kind of have to make it worth.
How about the Stap?
Stabs are pretty cool.
I've I only own one, so they're not great on their own, so I don't use them very much. So because they're kind of like speeder bikes where you kind of need 2 to 3 of them to make them worthwhile.
Oh yeah.
But do they just kind of exist in the same space as the speeders up here?
B or C really, yeah, because they're very middle of the road. Like they coordinate the trooper or vehicle, so you can keep your order chain going with them. Their gun's actually pretty decent, but they don't surge defensively. They have agile to keep them alive, but if you target a stab enough, it will die.
I'm gonna leave them in B only because all the other speeders are already in B, and I like how that looks.
That's fair.
Speaking of speeders, Swoop bikes obviously are not out yet, but I'm sure people have been proxying them because we have seen their cards. What is the word on the street about swoop bikes?
Well, important thing to know is they can be run in the Shadow Collective. They can also be run in Rebels, and I believe Republic. And so that should affect where they be placed just by who can access them. That being said, with how the overrun keyword is worded, they don't get a lot of overrun. And also their blaster pistols are meh.
So, C?
I think they might be C.
Okay. Alright, last up is everyone's favorite. And by everyone, I mean, I don't know, because I like tauntauns.
Rebel players? Tauntauns are still good. I don't know why people stopped playing them.
I don't either. I mean, I stopped playing them, but I only ever had one. I only have one, which is why I'm so excited about the Echo Base Defenders, because, okay, now I can get more tauntauns, I can get more turrets. Because I only buy one of most things, and then for, you know, really important things, I'll get doubles. So I'm never trying to be that. I'm like, well, I just
Which is funny, because you never borrow any of my stuff. You're like, no.
Yeah, I gotta force myself to work with what I got. It forces me to be more creative.
I guess that's
also,
fair.
why I wouldn't have wanted to ever borrow your tauntauns.
Hey, they sold for $70.
If you're out there and you bought Chris's custom sculpted tauntauns, shame on you. You know who you are. You know why you should
do know who you are. Yeah, they're A. They're good.
Yeah, I've been meaning to get mine back on the table. Yeah.
Agile 1's great on them. They also have Relentless, and for some reason they have Sharpshooter 1 with blaster pistols on the back of a tauntaun.
Blaster piddles.
Blaster piddles on the back of a tauntaun. Like, yeah, that makes sense.
You'd think you would not be great at aiming while on a... And they're, you know, by the nature of Agile and Relentless, they're always moving. Like, you should only have Sharpshooter if you haven't performed a move action or something. Like,
yeah, it kind of loses me there.
It's not like tauntauns are known for their smooth ride.
Yeah, but I mean, it is what it is. So A tier it goes.
Okay, well, I feel like this rank has been the most spread of all of them. We haven't had a lot of D's and F's so far in our tier list series for Legion, but I feel like this one has been the most like spread out across the board, and also the least number of S's.
Well, I think it's also tied to the fact of just like the support role in Legion. Like, a lot of the cool characters tend to be in the special forces slot. Those are something that like you make your list unique. Then you have your like characters in the commander and operative slot, and then your core you just have to take, so they're the backbone of your army. So support's just kind of like, eh.
Yeah, my favorites on this list are definitely Tauntauns and the Spider Droid.
Yeah, and I like the Spider Droid, Dewback, and Speeders, like, which probably is why they're all so high up. We're gonna find out everyone else is like, you guys flipped this the wrong way.
You guys, the Fluttercraft, totally S tier, overrun keyword, best keyword.
I want somebody to say something nice about the E-Web. I genuinely really like the design and the concept of the E-Web. I wish I could find a way to use it.
Yeah, I mean, on paper it seems fine.
If it gets into a good spot.
Yeah, I think you're right. It just needs a little extended range. But I'm gonna go out and throw a prediction. I think people are gonna say we undervalued the Droidica and maybe the Rebel ATRT.
I would agree. Maybe the ATRT. I don't think anyone cares about the Droidica these days. Like, as soon as the Spider Droids came up, they're probably gonna forget. Oh right, Droidicas, they exist.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, why would you pick a Droidica when you could pick a Spider Droid? They fit in the same slot.
That's the problem. The
What's
spider droids are so good.
what's their cost comparison though?
Oh, buddy, it's not good. So, Droidica, 75 points, naked. A spider droid with the attack protocols and ion gun is 68, which means if you
What?
throw in which means if you throw in HQ uplink, which is how you create the spider droids for the colony list, it comes to 78. So 3 more points you can get a spider droid with a range 4 ion gun with
Oh.
HQ uplink.
I mean, I've run spider droids and I've run droidicas, and I guess it just didn't occur to me that that's the deal here. That makes me think droidicas need to be like, 50 points base or something.
I mean, it's the same thing with the Staps. The Staps are 75 as well.
Because they feel like, especially the droidicas, just like thematically, they feel like they're occupying the same sort of battlefield space that the B1s and the B2s are. They're foot soldiers, whereas the Staps and the spider droids feel more like the heavy armor type thing, just from like a story perspective.
Oh yeah, I think Droidica's like,
So that
in my mind, a battlefield list would be Droidica's in front with B1s behind them taking cover, right?
Yeah, droidicas should be costed closer to the B2 than a spider droid, but weird. Okay, well,
Sorry, buddy. That seemed to really affect you.
yeah, that's shocking. I guess they don't pay attention to costs enough. Like I said, I haven't played with droidicas in a long time anyway, so
I don't think anybody has, buddy.
Okay, well, I think we nailed it. We did a perfect job. No one's gonna have any notes on this. Everyone's been very. we haven't screwed up yet. As always, let us know in the comments how we messed this up and what your thoughts on all of these are, because there's always been very great feedback on exactly what makes some of these things shine and what makes them worse than we think, and that sort of stuff. And we really do appreciate your comments.
We do read them. Like, we
Yeah.
do take them into consideration. If you
they're
actually
all very
hop
good.
on to the the JodoCast Discord, we do talk about it.
Yeah, you learn us things. I think I've pinned the ones I found most enlightening on the previous videos. Should be some pinned comments there. But anyways, thanks for watching. This has been the JodoCast. Goodbye.